Hey everybody, today on Rahdo we have a sponsored run-through of Vantage by Stonemaier Games. But before we begin, please turn your subtitles on to the Klingon channel so that if I make any rules goofs, you know what they are. And if you want to skip right to the final thoughts, you can do so using the channel notes below. But if you want to stick around, then let me take you to space. Okay, I know it doesn't look like space. I just have a bunch of like cards and dice and chits and stuff, but we're in space, I promise. See, this is a storytelling game, and at the very beginning of the story, me and my crew are weeks after receiving a mysterious signal from the Traveler. Your ship arrives in the orbit of an uncharted planet. So we are in orbit of an uncharted planet. And now we need to create the total challenge dice pool using 8 dice plus 2 per player. I've done this already. I'm playing a solo game, which works fairly similarly to a multiplayer game with the restriction that you can't help each other. But that's all right. So I'm just going to be playing a solo game, and I'll talk about the differences in the final thoughts. There aren't that many. Now, this is just sort of the starting setup, and I'm doing it completely randomly, so I don't even know who I'm going to be playing as. But each player gains a different skill, which you can select, but I'm going to choose to randomize. So I'm rolling one of these skill dice. There are 6 different skills, and each of those correspond to 6 different characters, but anyone can kind of do anything. And this dice tray is not included, but it's useful because we're going to be rolling quite a bit of dice. Now, I rolled red, and that's the one thing I was a little bit concerned about getting. Not concerned, but the thing is, each of these colors corresponds to a different skill, and the red skill thematically is labeled overpower. So it's a little bit more aggro than some of the other ones are, but that's okay. I'm playing as Tina, the Marine. And I've got a few things, but I'll talk about what all this means in a bit. I also gain a little red skill. And next, I'm going to set the time, morale, and health trackers to a setting here. Now, it's recommended for your first game that you played on Daring. It's not my first game, but I'll set it to Daring anyway. Daring just means they start at 4. Sort of like easy, normal, hard, super hard. But these aren't health tracks in the traditional sense, and that will make sense a little bit later. Anyway, I've set my starting attributes for my starting health values, and then next I gain 2 skills at random, and I will get a specific mission. So I rolled 2 oranges. Now, I've never done this before. They do say to re-roll if you get doubles, because it's a little harder this way, because you just have fewer, different skills to work with. But I'm going to try it. I'm going to see what happens. This is not something I've ever done before. So I'm getting 2 oranges. And then we place the matching mission. So I'm finding in these stacks of cards, mission number 1578. Here we go. Discover the planet's origins of life. Identify the phrase origins of life in the result text of an action. If you do, either gain Destiny 1608, placed in the center, or end the game in a mission victory. So I'm placing this up here, and I'm just looking for the words origin of life in a mission description, or in the text of an result text of an action. And that's going to come up in these books. You can't quite tell here. I have 8 different books here that all have little story things. We're going to get to those real soon. So I have gotten a mission. That might be a very difficult mission. I don't know. I've only played this game a few times, and there are many missions that you can play with. Anyway, next, everyone goes to location 001, which can be found on the back of the Book of Secrets. I'm going to just put this up here for now. And I'm going to find the Book of Secrets, which I think I have on the bottom here. Yeah. So the Book of Secrets, flipping to the back of this. The ship malfunctions. I have mere seconds to escape. Each player gains a different skill. Again, we can select or randomize. I like randomizing. See what I get. I get purple, which is the look skill. So grab a little skill chip. Now, I haven't really gotten to any of the storytelling aspects. This is all just setting up, and I kind of wanted to show you what it's like to go through the basics of this. But this has gotten me to a specific location. So I'm taking one of the location cards here. And then each player should now have 2 skill tokens, but the first player should have 4. And playing solo, so That will be me. That will have 4 skill tokens. And that's all I need from this. So I've got my character, Tina, the Marine. Whenever you start a character, you get 2 of these boost tokens that you're going to place on the character card. These can be used to get more skills, to get money, which you don't start with any of, or it can be used to re-roll dice that I will encounter later. The other thing is I get this card. Now, this card is going to present me with the very beginning of mission and sort of like sends me to a location. And there were 6 different cards that we could have grabbed. And so when I show you, I'm going to go through this, and then all the way on the right, these are all the different locations I can get sent to after this. So my escape pod seals tight, ejecting towards the planet in a completely different direction from the others. Now, again, I'm playing this solo. You would generally play this with more than one player. Anyway, gain 2 random skills. So once again, rolling some dice. I get another purple and another orange. And crash into the matching location. So I'm looking on the right here for all those matching skills. So I see purple and orange sending me to location 471. And 471, keep this card in the holder to obscure the backs of your new locations and for future locations you visit. So I'm looking up number 471. And so there's plenty of different locations here that I can find. I see 470. These cards are double-sided, so I am now at 471. And if I were playing this multiplayer, I would have a little card holder, and I would use this to obscure the back of this card, so you can't really see, anything else. Because only you are supposed to see the location that you're in, because you're all in separate locations. So, and that is your vantage point. So I find myself here in, it looks like I'm next to a river. A heavy stone treasure chest, aged as if it hasn't moved in decades, sits on the northern shore of the endless sea. Yeah, I have a feeling we're going to get a fair bit of clipping through the green screen because there's a lot of green in this game. So as you can see, this is what I've got here. You know what? I'm going to switch to this here. So, heavy stone treasure chest, aged as if it hasn't moved in decades. Sits on the northern shore of the endless sea. And I've got 6 different things I can do here. Each of these are corresponding to one of the 6 different skills. But the names of the skills generically are move, look, engage, help, take, and overpower. But those don't match what's here because each of the skills has different actions sort of associated with it. Now, my character is a little bit better at handling the overpower skill. So if I really want to open this treasure chest, I mean, forcing it might be something that I would do. That makes sense, thematically especially. And it's, I crash landed next to a treasure chest I probably want in. However, the other thing I could do is I could pick the lock, because I do have 3 of these orange skill tokens, so picking it, is definitely a thing I could do. And the last thing is, I do notice this skill symbol here. This is the same skill symbol as push. So sometimes it's good to follow the little imagery here, but I don't have any blue token, so I'm a little concerned about doing that. I think that, let's see, or I could also examine, but the thing is, generally, with these different locations, you can only do one of these actions. So I might choose to do one of the things, and then no matter what happens afterwards, I can't do another. Now, you always succeed at whatever action you choose, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get the best result. And also, the action you choose will also determine how difficult the action is, and you don't really know until you make your choice. So I'm trying to discover what to choose what to deal with, choose what to do about this. I don't know. I see a symbol. It's choosing the move action, which is push in this case. I'm fresh off of my escape pod. I think I'll be okay. So I'm going to choose to push, even though I don't have any skills that match that. So now I need to find the storybook that uses move. In this case, the blue storybook. And this is action number 471. So I'm looking in here to 471. And all I'm really trying to look at is the first part of it, which it says there's a number, and then it says push the chest onto its side. The number was 1, which means I'm only going to need to roll one of these dice, and that's good. These dice are not good for you, generally speaking. So I roll this die. I get this little return arrow, which means it just goes back to my challenge dice pool. The other things could potentially hurt me, or it'll be nothing. So could have been better, but could have been a lot worse. So I rolled the 1 die. It didn't really have any negative effects on me. I have, in a very silly thing to do, I have lost the page. I need to find it again. So 421, push the chest onto its side. To your delight, the chest pops open. Gain vehicle 957. I've never gained a vehicle before. So I'm gaining an item 957. So now, of course, as with just about everything in this game, as soon as you do a thing, you're going to look through a whole big stack of cards. And I got vehicle 957. This is a glider. Ooh. So I just got a new item, and that's going to sit next to my character card. And this provides me a lot of different things. One, those boxes in the top there, those are places where I can put dice if they are matching the type of action that I'm doing. And on the left side, you see specific, like descend, leap, or steer. If I'm rolling dice and I'm doing one of those, then I can put the die result onto that space. And then if it's negative, I won't suffer the penalties. And if I'm doing any kind of blue action, I can put it on the right side. I have that on my character card for red actions. But on top of that, there are a few other things. This card gives me an action that I can do, which is steer, which I think is... I think I would, if I'm using steer, then I would look up the number on this card specifically. And then I can upgrade this. It's a 6-cost action, so I'd be rolling 6 dice, and it's green, which I don't have any real skills in, but I can replace it with a flying carpet or a hot air balloon. Okay, there's some magical stuff in this game, even though it's very science fiction-y. But I have found this glider. I have gotten, I had no real negative effects from it, and it can improve my morale if I am able to fill it with tokens, with boost cubes. But I don't actually see a way to place boost cubes onto it. So that's interesting. I think I might have to use the steer ability. That might be able to get me some boosts. But anyway, that is the action that I've done. And that's the only action I can do here. Basically, I've opened up the chest, so none of the other actions are really important for it. So now I'm choosing where to go. Or I actually have one other thing I can do, which is I can do an action on any of the cards in front of me. Either my character card, I have 3 actions on my character: master, buy, and equip. And I don't really know what some of those things will get me. I mean, buying is kind of straightforward, but I don't have a lot of money. I do have this glider, and it says that it's worth 7, so I could probably trade it for stuff. Equipping, I don't have any extra cards that I would want to equip. I don't know if there's something else that does for me. Mastering, I think will upgrade my character in a certain way, but it's not easy to do. And then the other things I can do are actions on the mission card itself. And this, the top one says pivot, and I haven't done that, but I have a feeling that would send me to a different mission. The next one is research, then plead, and hone. So much of this game is interpretive, so I don't know exactly what any of that means, but I am trying to discover the planet's origin of life. So researching does seem like a thing I'm probably going to want to do. But I bet those actions are going to be difficult. So I would love to find items that would help me. Now, I've placed this item next to my card. I have basically a 3x3 grid of item space, like that I can put items into. And part of the thing you want to do is look around and find items. So I need to go to a new location to maybe find something else. And on my location here, I have a little compass rose, or just a little compass. And so it's telling me that if I want to go forward, I look up number 100, or I find card 100. If I want to go left, I find 409. But going to the right or going backwards, and you can assume you're always facing north. If I wanted to go east or south, then that will require a different kind of check, or it will probably be a bit more difficult. But sometimes it's a bit more rewarding. So it looks to me like forward is sort of a foresty, maybe mountainy kind of a thing. East looks like it's a river, probably another river to be behind me as well, and left maybe into deeper into a forest. I want to go left. Excuse me, I want to go west. Or actually, you know what? I have a glider. Going up a mountain seems like a great thing to do. So I'm going to go north instead. So whenever you go into a location, that's just a one die move action. You don't need to read a book about it. You just roll a die and you do a thing. So this dash, that's the best thing you can get. That just goes into your little penalty box. Whenever you roll a die, except for the one that I rolled in the last one, this guy, it's going to go up there. But with the other symbols, the time, the heart, the star, those are affecting your different little health values. So you generally don't want to roll them. So I'm going to location number 100. So I've got to find card number 100, which is right here. And then this card goes away. Ooh, is this a person? A sentient stares at your feet. There are people here. And this is like a plant sentient. Yeah, all the people are referred to as sentients. So I could do a bunch of things. I could approach, I could smell, I could ask, I could praise, I could enlist, or I could fight. Enlisting is an interesting choice because you definitely can get allies in this game. These cards are items, but they represent all kinds of things. And so some cards are people, or sentients as they're called here. Approaching seems like an easy thing to do, and I do have this glider, which is going to help me with blue actions now. There's also smelling or asking. And asking could be interesting. I'm trying to learn stuff. Praising is a fun choice, but I don't have any green skills, so I'm a little worried about doing that. I think I want to ask the sentient. Maybe he can tell me something useful. And so I'm going to do the orange skill. Now I have these 3 orange tokens, which I might use, but I don't need to determine that yet. So I'm finding the orange booklet. I'm engaging with this grassy sentient. And this is number 100. So I see, ask the sentient about the area. This is a 2 difficulty skill, a 2 difficulty action. So if I spend these tokens, I would roll fewer dice. I have a lot of orange skills. I'm just asking about the area. I'll use one of them. So instead of rolling 2 dice, I'm rolling 1. And we'll see how this goes. Okay, this takes a little bit of time. So I'm losing 1 time. And then I put this into the challenge dice area. And again, I've closed the book. 100. Ask the sentient about the area. The sentient is most excited to share that just to the north of here is one of the most prized crafting trees of all the land. Just don't disturb the leaves, they say, as they hand you a coin. Gain $1 and a boost. So, just giving me some money. Appreciate that. And a boost, which goes on to my character. If I ever just get one through an action, it goes onto my character. Unless it specifically says to go onto an item, like if I steer. So, that is going north. Now, that is an asterisk. So, if I want to go north, then, why not? Person told me it's the best crafting location. I don't know that I have anything to craft with, really, but maybe I'll get something out of it. So, I need to find the travel book, which I think is, or depart, I should say. And this location is number 100. So, 100. 100. There's two ways. I'm going north, so this is trailblazing. Again, this glider has descend, leap, and steer. It's a type of action that I'm doing here, but it doesn't match what it is trailblazing because I'm going through a forest. Makes sense. Trailblaze north through gaps in trees, and this is a 4 dice action. I have no way to reduce this. Actually, no, I do. I could roll 2 dice to gain a blue chip. Sorry, 2 dice, 2 boost cubes in order to gain a blue skill. I might want to do that. So roll 2, spending 2 boosts to gain a blue chip, which I'm immediately spending to go down from 3 dice to 2 dice. Sorry, 4 dice to 3 dice. And we're rolling these. Okay, this is good. I got 2 nothings, but I also got this hourglass. Now, I've already lost some time, so I don't want to lose more. However, I can take this hourglass because I'm doing a blue action. I can just place it right onto my glider, and now I don't suffer that effect. But this die will stay here, blocking the space, until I run out of challenge dice and I need to refresh. So, I am departing. Trailblaze north through the gaps in the trees. The moss is pleasant under your feet as you trailblaze through the dense forest. Go to 105. To 104, 105. Oh, there's like a little parrot guy here. 105. A huge bird-like animal perches below a tree in a clearing in the dense jungle. It chirps at you and waits for a response. I could try to ride it. Observe it, mimic it, feed it, catch it, or hunt it. Now, I did get a red character, and hunting would be easier for me to do. But I was told not to rustle the leaves. So I want to be careful here. On top of that, I do see a little green symbol right here, which does match the feed. But again, I don't have any greens. So I'm a little concerned about that. But I do kind of like to do what is shown here. I could feed this parrot. Maybe the parrot would join me if I feed it. So, you know what? I'm gonna just go with the wind on this. I'm grabbing the help storybook for green, number 105. And it says, feed treats to the animal. This is only a 1 difficulty action. So, just going to roll a die. And I got another dash. Rolling, my rolls are hot in this game. Which is not usually the case. So I feed treats to the animal. If I have flora or food, let the animal nibble on part of them, then gain animal 803. If not, the animal presents you with a warm, squirming grub from the roots. Gain 1 health. So it has healed me a bit, but I really would have liked to have gotten the animal as a friend, and now I don't have anything else I can do here. So I'm going to keep going forward. I remember seeing that mountain in the foreground, so I'm hoping to get there and then maybe use my glider to jump off and go somewhere cool, because again, I can't do anything else here. So going to 110, I'm going to roll another die, because anytime you move to a basic location, got another dash. You just do a one die roll. 110. Another plant area. This is cool. Several animals surround a ceremonial display of flowers. They invite you to apply for the trial of beauty. So I could dance, I could memorize, I could persuade, I could create, I could catch, or I could pluck. Interesting. Memorizing is an interesting choice. So I'm looking at what I have skills for, because I really want to get more items to balance out my skills, but I think maybe I persuade. I would say dance. If I had any more blue abilities here that I could really work with, I would say dance. But as it is, I think I'm going to try to persuade. So I'm doing the orange book again. Engaging, because again, I have these 2 orange skills. And this is number 110. So I want to persuade the judges. Ooh, I can pay money to decrease the cost by for each dollar that I spend. Now, this is a 2 difficulty skill. I can spend 1, and I can spend this dollar that I got to go from 1 to 0, which means I don't even need to roll any dice. So I'm bribing the judges, and the judges welcome you to participate in the trial. Continue with the help create action. Ah, okay, so the trial is a creation thing. And now I have to do that action, which is green. So I'm going over to create. Hopefully this works out well. 110. Create. Oh, God. It's the 6. I don't even have enough dice for this. Create a truly exceptional flower arrangement for the judges that delights from every angle. Only if you have been welcomed as a participant in this trial, otherwise choose another action. Well, I have been welcomed as a participant, so I can at least attempt this. But I need 6 dice, which means we reset everything, as well as the die that was on my board. And I'm rolling 6 dice. This could be bad. Okay, I rolled a lot of hearts. Thankfully, I got a little bit of extra health. And also, I have a space to place any heart die on my character. This dash does nothing. This returns to the challenge pool, but then I'm going to lose 2 health and a time. Now, I could spend my last boost here to re-roll a challenge die. And then if it is the same thing, I will get a red red action, what do you call these shits, whatever. But it might just be something else. But here's the thing, I've got a lot of health, so I think I'm okay. I think I got off, honestly, pretty okay out of this. So I'm gonna lose 2 health 1 time, and I will create. I guess I'm creating some beauty here. And this is a long one. All right. Find card 1135, place it on the table, and begin. Interesting. 1135. A lot of the cards are items, but not all of them. So that seems like that's what I'm finding here. So 1135. Okay. Huh. Begin. You must arrange 4 different types of flowers, 4 stalks of each type, into a grid. All stalks of each type of flower are the same height, 1 to 4. Proceed to fill the grid with up to 4 stacked tokens per square, so that A, there is only 1 of each stack height in every row and column, and B, specific rows and columns have an exact number of visible flowers when viewed from straight-on angles, as indicated by the numbers adjacent to them around the edges. When looking at the bottom row from the 2 position, only 2 flowers may be visible. Oh, okay, interesting. All right. Keep in mind, taller flowers completely block any shorter flowers behind them. When you're ready to present your flower arrangement, declare the heights of the green squares from left to right. See entry 110 in the Book of Secrets for the solution. So now this is like a puzzle that I have to solve. I'm going to be placing these cubes, and I can sort of stack them to make like flower arrangements. And I want to make it so that when I stack them, I will see a number of flowers based on the numbers based on the direction that I'm looking. So like if you were to hold this up and look at it like this, and then you have different flowers going like that. It's kind of a photosynthesis vibe, if any of you played that game. I must arrange 4 different types of flowers, 4 stalks of each type, into a grid. All stacks of each flower type are the same height, 1 to 4. Proceed to fill up the grid with 4 stacked tokens per square, so there's only 1 of each stack height in every row and column, so it's also a bit of a Sudoku. And B, specific rows and columns have an exact number of visible flowers when viewed from the same height. All right, so this is a bit of a puzzle. And while I'm confident that I can figure this out, it might take a moment, so I'm going to pause it while I do this, because I have a feeling this is going to be me silent for a little while. And this, for you, no time at all will pass. I have completed my beautiful flower arrangement, and it follows all the rules. So I am saying that the numbers on the specific green squares are 1, 2, 4. So now I see entry 110 in the Book of Secrets, and I need to find out if I was correct. So where are you, Book of Secrets? Entry 110. Solution 1. I said 1, 2, and 4. If the number is highlighted in green, 1, 2, 4. If you succeed, I have succeeded. Gain item 1248, an emblem representative of the leaf sentience acceptance of you and your people. Also, if you have it, lose the leaf curse. There are curses in this game that you can get. If you fail, gain 2 random skills, but succeed or fail, lose card 1135. Oh, this, the flower arrangement card. Sure. So, I've succeeded, so I gain item 1248. An emblem of some kind. Ooh. A leaf emblem. When placed, gain a boost on leaf cards in all grids. Well, I don't have any leaf cards. That would be something that would be pretty useful if I was playing a big multiplayer game, because it said on all grids, which means that it would help out other players as well. There are a number of things that you can do to help out each other. For example, spending these tokens, you can spend them on other players' dice rolls. So, not just helping yourself, but this is helping me out with, not green actions. This helps me out with leaf actions. So anytime I encounter this symbol here, I have places to put my dice to protect me. And in fact, this could help other players as well, because there's this little lightning bolt on these symbols here. That means that anyone can use them. So again, I'm playing solo. It doesn't really matter. It's just all for me. But if I were playing with other people, then I could do that. So that's pretty good. I would like to keep going, and I want to try steering. I want to see what happens when I steer with this glider. I'm going to take the steer action, which is just presented on the card, so I can always take it. And that means I need to look up 957 in the, not to part the move storybook, because it's a move action. So 957, because a lot of these, I mean, the locations only go up to 802, so there's plenty more after that. 957, steer, use only if you are at the top of a tower. If not, choose a different action. So I guess I'm not at the top of a tower. I can't steer just yet. So I do kind of want to keep ascending, but I want to stay in the area with these leaf people. They seem to like me. So maybe I just go to the left. I'm going to go west. And that is to location 412. So I'm rolling a die, get another dash. I told you, my rolls are hot with this game. I don't know what it is. But I go to location 412. Oh, this is a little bit less inviting. The path splits, dividing into 2 options that stretch along either side of a narrow river. I could wander, focus, sink, share, pickpocket, or fish. And you know what? I think I see a little red symbol. I think fishing is a good idea. And also, I haven't used any red actions yet, and this is honestly the least aggressive red action I've seen so far. So I'm going to do use the Overpower storybook here, 412. And I'm fishing. This is a 3, fish for food. So I have a token here. I'll bring that down to a 2. And there are both dashes. I'm telling you, killing it in this game. So when I fish, I roll 3 skill dice up to 3 times, always rolling all dice. Roll 1 extra die if I pay a maximum of 1 boost from a food or flora, because you're putting food on the lure. Based on number of overpower in the final results, I gain some kind of benefit. So I'm rolling 3 dice. I would love to get 3 reds. I got 1 here. So I could choose to roll again, or I could just take the 1. I can roll 3 dice up to 3 times, and it's the number of results in the final roll. I think I can do better than 1, or if I don't, 0 is fine. You always get something. I got 1 again. Maybe I just take it. I don't know what the results are, and you're not supposed to know. The someone else, if you're playing multiplayer, someone else would be reading and they would just, actually, no, at this point, I would have read the entire thing. So what I've learned is 0 is you don't catch anything other than a brief glimpse of fish, gain a boost, which is not bad. If it's 1, gain a small but savory fish, gain a health, which is not bad. If it's 2, gain a medium-sized fish, gain a health and a boost. 3 is large fish, which you gain a specific item. And then 4, which is only possible if you used a lure, then you gain a monstrosity. I'm fine with a health. I'm fine with a boost. I would love to get a big fish. So I'm going to try one more time to roll. We'll see how it goes. I didn't get anything. So, see, this is what I expect from my dice rolls usually. So I got 0, which I got a brief glimpse of a fish, which gives me a boost, and I'm fine with that. So I have done a little fishing. I see, yeah, there's this mountain. It looks like it's to the right and forward. I think I want to go forward. I do want to get up to the top of that mountain, and it seems like there might be something ahead. So I'm going to try going forward, even though it's an asterisk. So that means I need to grab the Depart storybook and see what I get here. 412. Wade east across the tributary. This is a 2 dice action, so we'll see what happens. That's time. I don't want to lose any more time, so I'm going to pay a boost to re-roll. If it's the same thing, I'll get a token out of it. But there's a star. I'm fine with losing morale. I haven't lost any so far, so lose a little morale, that's okay. 412. There are no paths leading north past the rune stone, so you roll up your pants and splash forward. Go to 412. Oh, wait, no, I'm at 412. Oh, I was reading the wrong one. North or northwest, trek north along the right path or northwest along the left path. I think I want to go north along the right path because I think I see something there. So, but I do need to roll one more die. There would have been one more in there because it's actually a 3 difficulty action. So rolling one more die, and that just goes back there. So everything's fine. So I'm going to the right. Is that what I said? 412. Where are we? Yeah. I'm going along the right path. I follow the river north where it expands into a misty inlet. Go to 413. 413 on the other side of this? Yes, it is. A large lotus thrives among the seaside vegetation across the inlet. I could wander, smell, ask, brew, consume, or pluck. I mean, part of me wants to smell the flower because I bet that would help with my morale. But brewing, consuming, or plucking might help as well. I mean, I'm a red character. I should like red actions. I'm going to pluck it. So I find the red storybook, overpower, 413. What are we doing with this? 413, pluck the lotus. Careful not to damage the roots or petals. This is a 4 difficulty action. So it's not going to be easy. But you always succeed at what you're trying to do. I got a star, a dash, which is good. This returns. I'm going to place this star onto my character's little die box, and this one specifically has a boost cube attached to it. So I will get a boost from that, and I will lose 1 morale. I think I can manage with that. So 413. Plucking the lotus. I plucked the majestic flower, gained flora 1159. 1159. Almost there. Ooh. Flora, white. So this is another plant item that I can do, and I have some abilities with plants. And I can brew with this item, gaining a different item and replacing this card unless I pay a cube. Well, in order to pay a cube, I'm going to need to gain a boost onto it, which I can do if I interact with other plant stuff. So it is what it is. All right. I have vegetation across the inlet. Did I just walk past the mountain that I was trying to go through? Maybe. You know what? That's possible. But I think it's time I put a little bit of effort into the action, or into the mission that we've got. And one of the actions on this mission card is research. I haven't really done any purple actions, so I still have my 2 purple tokens here. I want to research discovering the planet's origins of life. So I'm going to find the purple storybook for looking. And what card number is that? 1578, almost on the back. 1578 is a 2 difficulty action. Research how you can complete the mission. This action can be performed at most once per game. So, this is a 2 dice action, and you know what? I want to save these. I'm just going to roll the 2 dice and see what happens. I got a return. I got a heart. Heart is the best of the ones that I could get, so I could spend a boost to re-roll, but I don't want it to be something worse. So I'm going to take the heart damage, the hit points, the blow to my hit points. Not really hit points, but 1578. You formed a common bond with your crewmates over the question, why are we here? There are a few different places with visual cues for the origins. If you see something historical, talk to the people there to learn more. To help find locations where you can answer this question, gain the Map of Interiors, 1256. Okay, so gain 1256. Map of Interiors. That's the last card in this. Nice. Ooh, got a little map icon here. When placed, gain 1 cube per adjacent card. So where you place things in this grid is important. So I'm going to place it right here. And 1 cube per adjacent card. There are 2 adjacent cards, so I'm going to place this right there. And then I can spend a cube to view page 13 of the Book of Vantages until the end of this turn. So this is a really interesting thing to do, and I'll show you how this works. I'm going to spend a boost on this. And I view page 13 of the Book of Vantages, and it's a map. Now, this is a map of the world that I'm in, and it's very suggestive. So I'm trying to, I would love to determine where I am based on the places I've gone. So I see like a mountain range to the left with some water, and I've been, next to water pretty much this whole time. So I'm probably not in any of these interiors, but I'm trying to figure out just where exactly I am. There was a narrow inlet. So maybe I'm over here because I've been around water pretty much this whole time. There's this little narrow stream that I went through, but I see a bunch of houses here, and I don't know that I see any houses here. Oh, but I do see a little tower in the distance there, and that looks like this. So I think I'm around here. And if there's a space that I want to go to, Map of Interiors, that means I just go to the right. So I think this is where I am. So I'm going to go to the right, going east from here. And hopefully I'll encounter if I encounter some villages or something like that, then I'll be pretty sure that I know where I am. But once I close this, I can't look at it again unless I spend another boost. Because I only get to look at it until the end of this turn. And now the turn is over. So I'm going 115. I'm going to the right. It's an easy path. So I go like that. Again, rolls doing just fine. And now I find card number 115. Ooh. Attached to a broken bridge at the northern edge of a steep cliff is an old stone building with stained glass windows. This looks like a historical location like the one I was looking for. So I can enter, spy, trade, assist, access, or break. Now I know I'm a red person, but I think entering is probably my best bet here. Because I want to learn more about this. So I'm going to enter, doing a blue action. So, what do I do with light blue? All right, 115. Enter the building through the front door. Sure. 115 is a 2 difficulty action. Apparently, it's a heavy door. So I'm just going to roll the 2 dice. I can't really do anything to avoid that. So a dash. Now I've got a heart, but I've got a way to mitigate blue actions with my glider. I'm just gliding into this building. And it says, go to interior 553. Several sentients glance at you before returning to their work. So interior 553. Okay, 554, 552, 553. Oh, it's vertical. Interesting. An ornate stained glass window casts colors across the room. I can exit, I can search, I can trade, build, steal, or raid. And there's different symbols that kind of correspond to different things in the room. So like if I'm stealing this thing. If I'm exiting, I'm going out the way I came, I guess. Searching this location. So that's interesting. I think searching makes a lot of sense. Ornate stained glass window casts colors across the room. I don't know that there's anything I can build. I'm not good at that. But searching, I have these two purple tokens, so I'm hoping that searching will get me something from this. So I'm going to search. This is 553. 553. Search. This is a 4 difficulty. Search the interior for the smallest item. You know what? It's 4 difficulty. I'm going to spend both of these. I'm rolling 2 dice, which means I get 1, and then we refresh. And another one. It's so good at this game. 553. I'm not good at this game. Well, I mean, it's hard to be good at this. Anyway, someone with lesser perception may have missed the elixir. Gain item 864 and calmly exit to 115. So 864. An elixir. An item, beverage. When placed, I gain 3 boosts on it. When it's empty, I lose this card. This is a place for me to... I can spend boosts to place dice on this card when I do red actions. But I could also revive a skeleton? On a location with a skeleton, lose this card and randomly gain card 1218, 1219, or 1220. I haven't seen a skeleton. But anyway, I have to exit. It told me to exit through 115. I guess I stole something and now I'm on the run. But I'm back to where I came. But even though I left here and came back, I can't do anything else here. So I didn't actually see anything of use. Well, I didn't see anyone to talk to, really. I do think that that's where I was. I don't remember where there were other pins. I think forward and to the left a bit. So maybe I go forward. I mean, all of the different locations are asterisks, so I'm gonna go forward and see how that works for me. Departing from 115. And it says, swim north to the far shoreline. Well, it's a 4 difficulty action. I don't really have anything to mitigate that. So I'm rolling some dice. But again, my rolls are hot. This goes back, and I do have a place to put it. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put this die onto here, which will gain another boost for the map of interiors. And that'll allow me to look at that thing again. Besides natural stones, I also see chunks of masonry in the water beneath you. Go to 120. Ooh. So occasionally you see this person here, this stranger, and it's this little red speech bubble. That means that they're talking to you. This volcano has caused massive damage to a town in the northeast. Well, a town in the northeast is where people are. I could listen. I was told to listen to people. Maybe I listen. I could consult, craft, scavenge, or fish. Consulting would also be good. I don't have any other ways to hold on to deal with purple dice. So maybe I consult with this guy. I'm gonna grab the orange storybook, which I think is the only one I haven't used. Oh no, I haven't taken anything. Yellow and red seem to be the more aggro of the options in this game. I don't often do them. Consult with the traveler about escaping this planet. It's a 1 action. I'm just going to roll it. I don't need to spend that token. And, of course, I don't need to spend the token because I always roll dashes. 120. The traveler's tone grows somber. All technology has simple roots. Even the simplest rowboat can evolve into a mighty spaceship with enough patience and expertise. Gain 1 boost and Destiny 1606. I'm going to gain the boost, and I'm going to grab a Destiny. 1606, place it in the center. So, I haven't seen Destinies yet, or I haven't shown you Destinies, but like missions, there's another spot up here for a Destiny. And it says, upgrade into a spaceship. Upgrade vehicles until you have a fully functional spaceship. If you do, you may complete the Destiny by reading 1606 in the Book of Secrets. And with that, I have an idea of how to get off the planet. Now, completing the game can either be through completing the mission or completing the Destiny, or what they call an epic victory by completing both. But I have a glider, and I know that I can upgrade it. So I'm going to try and do that. It's going to be difficult. It's a 6 cost action. Oh, and it needs a boost. It needs a boost. And I don't have any boost on this card yet. I still don't really know how to get boost on this card. I need to go to the top of a tower and steer, but I have something in mind. So that's what I've got. Northeast. Well, I think that this might actually be a good point, a good stopping point, because I've got another avenue that I can go towards. I still haven't really made any headway on my mission, but this was supposed to be one of the harder missions to do. I've got a map which is telling me different places that I can go, but this game can sometimes last a little while, and I don't want to try to make sure that I finish one of these missions because that could take a bit of time, so I want to just head directly over to final thoughts time for Vantage. But of course, before I begin, please keep in mind this was a sponsored run through. Now, there is so much to talk about with Vantage because the scope of this game alone is so impressive. In this box, it says up to 1708, but some of these cards are double-sided, but it's 800 to 400. There are about 1,300 cards in this box, and every one of them has something different. And many of them are double-sided. Almost all of these locations are double-sided. So there is just so much to do in this game. So in this game, yes, you crash land on a planet, you've got a character, you've got a mission, and maybe eventually you'll get a destiny, and you're trying to complete your mission and or your destiny, but you do so by just interacting with the world around you. And it is such a different approach to this kind of gameplay because it's not as aggressive, it's not as intense, you're not focusing so hard on figuring out the exact right thing to do. You're trying to experience the world. This is a very experiential game. And it is providing one of the most unique experiences I've had in gaming. I love storytelling in gaming in general. Normally that's achieved through having a narrative or having very evocative gameplay, Ludo narratives, essentially. This is a little bit of both, but it does it so differently from almost any other kind of storytelling game I've encountered. Weirdly enough, it reminds me a little bit of a game called Near and Far, or Above and Below. Both of them work, where you kind of go through the game and you experience stuff in a storybook, and it kind of tells you what you can do, and then you roll some dice to do it. But where that game was also resource management and like city building, and then there were plenty of things that you try and do and you just fail. A thing that I love about this game is it tells you right off the bat, anything you attempt, you will succeed in. However, there might be a cost. So you're always going to roll some dice for any action you do. And if you're playing this game multiplayer, someone else is reading out the thing where it says, trade with the vendor. This is a difficulty 3 action. So then it's like, okay, cool. I'm going to take 3 dice, but it was an orange action, so I could spend these tokens to drop 1 die down. Or when I roll, if there's something that I need to place on a card, if I've got a card with a little orange space, I can put that there to avoid taking damage. Then great. But regardless, unless you drop all the way down to the bottom of one of your health tracks, you do the thing that you wanted to do. And you don't always know what that is. In fact, you almost never really know, because so many of the things in this game are interpretive in terms of what you're saying you want to do. So this location that I ended the game on here, or ended the run through anyway, had 6 actions: steer, listen, consult, craft, scavenge, or fish. And you'll almost always have 6 actions in those 6 genres of action, of skills. And then you might have cards that give you other actions. You have your mission that will give you some actions to do. Maybe your destiny will do that. And you kind of have to interpret what those mean. And you're not always right. I'm going to tell you right now. Sometimes you think you know what an action means, and then you get to the thing in the book, and it is not that. But once you say what you're going to do, you're committed to doing it. And it's just, how long does it take? How much does it hurt your morale? How many scrapes do you get along the way? And then you read, or one of your friends, reads the little passage in the book, tells you what happens. Maybe you take a little damage, but usually with these things, you get something good out of it. You get a new card, you make a friend, you find an item, you find a map, you find a potion, or you found a wild animal and you've gotten it to like you, and now it's a loyal animal, or something like that. There's so many different things that can happen, and it's such an incredible ride that you go on. Oh, the other game that this really reminds me of is Tales of Arabian Nights, because that had a similar thing where you go to a thing, there was always a list of actions that you could do, and sometimes they were a little bit nonsensical because the actions were always the same regardless of the location. But the mechanics of that game, and in terms of storytelling, very similar, but the mechanics of that game got a little wonky. The mechanics of this game, I think, are minimal, but in a good way, because they don't get in the way of the storytelling. And I keep saying storytelling, but the narrative is really one that you build with your friends, or in interacting with this world. I keep saying that there's nothing, I don't know that I've played a game that's exactly like this. And I think people should definitely, if you're interested in narrative games, I'm not saying you're gonna love it, but check it out, because it's really, really fascinating. Now, there are a couple things that feel a little odd, that aren't exactly to my taste. You end up finding a lot of these items, and sometimes they're really helpful, and sometimes they're just not. You'll find the thing. So I found this leaf emblem. I put in a lot of work to get this, and it seems really cool. And it only helps me when I'm encountering leafy things, which you can kind of steer towards, but not always. In a different game, I had a similar encounter. I was in like a volcano, and I became friends with a little like magma kid, and he started following me around, and that was great. And he was going to help me out anytime I interacted with ice. He was going to help out with that. I never once saw ice that entire game. So sometimes these things end up being straight up useless. Very cool, but not helpful. And I wouldn't say that's not an exception to the rule. That's just gonna happen. Some of the things you're gonna find are gonna be useful. The glider was great. It helped me with the move action. I used that several times. And it ended up being useful for the destiny that I was going to have. I want to turn this glider into a spaceship. And that just randomly happened because I wanted to consult with this stranger. If I had done any one of the other 6 actions, I wouldn't have gotten that. I wouldn't have known that that was a thing that I could do. So all these things, like, you're always going to find something, and it's always going to be interesting. And sometimes you can really steer yourself towards where the where your goals are. But sometimes you're just along for the ride. And so occasionally you will have a bit of a lack of agency because you won't know, you just don't really know what you're getting yourself into. But if you're able to just allow the game to take you on a ride and to make what little decisions you are, I mean, many, many decisions, though each one is often very small, but you making these small decisions at every little stopping point, then I think you're going to have a good time with it. So I'm trying to think of more that I don't have a whole lot of criticisms to it because it's, I think if you've seen this, if you watch any of the run through, you're going to know if this game is for you or not. It is highly narrative. It is beautiful to look at, but there's not a ton of strategy in it. You can kind of try to steer yourself where you want to go. You can make informed decisions. You can help each other out. If you're playing multiplayer, you can provide skills to help each other to avoid danger. You can, trade items if you ever find each other, but finding each other is difficult since you crash land on opposite ends of the planet. You can talk about what all the decisions are. And one thing that I wasn't able to show you in this run through is that when you're playing, you've got this card. So let's say you're looking at this card. I don't see what's here. You have to tell me what's here. And so each of us has our own personal experience. And that is going to help with the different locations you go to. It helps with replay because, I mean, you don't even need to do this to help with replay. I told you, there's like 1,500 cards in here. I've played this now 3 times. I feel like I've barely scratched the surface of what's here. So you don't even need this replayability aspect of it, but it does present a very interesting way to play the game where I'm seeing what I'm seeing and you're seeing what you're seeing. And the only time we would ever be able to look at each other's cards is if we're in the same location, which almost never happens. It's not impossible, but it's rare. And so I would have to look at this card and I'd say, I see a sloping hill. I see a white boat in the waters, and I can read out the little description that says, a small boat sits in the calm, warm water in front of you. A breeze from the northwest carries the faint smell of ashes. So there's a fire. Maybe that's a settlement. Maybe that's a volcano. Maybe it's danger of some kind. I don't know. All I can see is that there's a white boat here. And if I repair it, which is one of the actions here, or hijack it, or steer it, maybe I can get that boat. But then again, maybe it belongs to someone. And there are things that you can do that piss people off, because there are a lot of people in this world. Sentients, as they call them. Very different from us, but people nonetheless. It's such an interesting world. It's so engaging. I know that this is a sponsored run through, but I'll tell you, I'm keeping this game. I'm excited to play it again because there's a lot. There's so much here that I haven't seen, and I want to see more of it. So if you're interested in storytelling games that give you the freedom to do a lot, but also don't have a huge mechanical overhead that you have to worry about, then definitely check out Vantage. It is a very, very interesting, a very unique experience, and I would love to see more of this kind of gameplay, though I'm sure that it was difficult to make. But that's going to be it for me, folks. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you folks next time. Bye-bye.